You are now listening to Joystick Tuggers.
Hello?
Hello? Is this... We're broadcasting on all channels and all times. Jared, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sitting right next to you. I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
I know you're there. I'm checking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm here. Let me check.
This is the Joystick Tuggers. I'm Christian Sorrell the Fourth.
Yeah, I'm Jared Stanley the Fourth. Jared L. Stanley the Fourth.
We've taken on the monikers of our ancestors in an attempt to save the fate of Earth. There's a lot.
There's a lot going on right now.
A lot has changed since the year 2016, which is where we're focusing our transtemporal broadcaster.
Yeah, I put 20 minutes and 16 seconds into the microwave. I am a genius, but I'm no genius when it comes to, cooking times for microwaves, but I think that should do it. I think I should get to 2016.
The broadcaster uses a microwave-based infratime structure to reach the past, and we also send unfettered access to those of you living in the future.
It also
Salome.
I think it's going to work also because I think back in 2016, everything was based on a 60 increment. So it only went from 1960 to 2000 or 1959. Yeah. So that way you cause there's no more than 60 seconds in an hour or a minute.
So what does that have to do with this?
Well, we can't send it to 1974 because that would actually be 20, yeah, essentially, back then, they did this because this is how they wanted their microwaves to work and their clocks to work. So it should reach 2016, ideally, but it also might be reaching, 1976.
The most important thing is the year 2099, and the Earth has been destroyed. We're currently living in a hole on the dark side of the moon, a moon colony, and we need you to save the Earth. It got blown up.
The only thing left is Detroit, so it's literally just a black hole.
There's just a little planet with kind of like a Dragon Ball Z-esque rock, a tiny little planet, the
nice 20th century reference.
What's his name?
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
No, what's the all black skin genie?
Oh, Mr. Satan.
Kazam.
Oh, yeah, Kazam. Oh, yeah. I am Kazam.
Where Kazam lives on that tiny planetoid in the afterlife. It's like that, but it's just Detroit.
He just green eggs and hams it.
Yes. But other than that small planetoid, there is only the moon now. And what we hope to do with this broadcast, which, according to the screen beside me, is sending to the past, is archive the greatest art, the greatest achievements of mankind.
All of it. All of them. Because there's nothing left. Like I said, only Detroit's left. Nothing of value there. RoboCop was the only thing that is remaining on Earth that's of value.
At this point, we are afraid that it will all be lost in time if the moon is also destroyed. So that's why we're sending this to the future as well, so that alien races, perhaps some sort of human survivors, will know that at one time man made great things. With that, our first piece of art we will be discussing is a video game.
Probably the most prolific piece of art of human history. I mean, it's really like, it peaked. I mean, that's why Earth is gone now, because it peaked when this came out, I would assume.
Yes, from what we can tell, this sort of led a kind of like a revolution in terms of physical features, what was deemed beautiful, what was deemed ugly.
Right.
Whereas before, things like having a large
penis.
Large penises have been generally regarded as good. That remained the same.
That's the same.
But having the skin that cases your nostrils, having that be large was formerly an insult, but now became good. So
it's hot. It's real hot.
Yes,
I like it.
Which has, of course, retained to this day, where most people have large, almost goiter-esque noses.
Yeah. That's true.
From the radiation. So if you hear like skin slapping, that's normally our large, overgrown, bulbous noses actually enveloping our mouths.
I mean, you've heard Rubenesque. This is like Rubenesque. Is what it's called.
Okay. That makes sense. It's good that you cleared that up for our viewers of the past.
Yeah.
So what we're going to discuss today is a prime art video game from Earth, the original Earth.
I think circa 1989.
Referred to, or known as Big Nose Freaks Out for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, Jared, what did you... We got to experience this today. We were able to pull this from the archives we have.
Oh, mm-hmm.
What did you think of this game?
It's okay. It's really bizarre. Essentially you're a caveman, on a one-wheel skateboard. Actually, I wouldn't even say a one-wheel skateboard. It is essentially a circular rock with a plank of wood on top. I think it's plank of wood. I mean, I'm assuming it's a caveman.
It looks like wood.
It's probably petrified wood.
Yes.
At most.
It's like one... Yeah, there's like a one wheel in the center. It's like a unicycle skateboard hybrid.
Yeah. And essentially, I mean, you are just rolling around. You have a club, kind of like Captain Caveman. Something like that, Captain Caveman.
Yeah, one of Earth's other great arts.
Yes. Everyone knows Captain Caveman. Yeah, essentially, it's just a platformer. You're rolling around, and you're hitting things with clubs, picking up rocks, and you can you can project rocks, like projectiles, I guess it would be, except projectiles would be project rocks.
Which we're extrapolating that's what they wanted. To me, it looks like you have a club, like a brown, sort of like tapered turd that he's just swinging, and like flecks of it are like coming out,
right,
and flying at his attackers. So we're assuming that's not what they were going for. They were probably going for the rock or
Dwayne
like
Johnson.
Clubs, like, I don't know, a piece of wood he's hitting at them or something. But it definitely just ends up looking like he's just shaking turds off this bigger turd.
Right. Yeah,
which really could be a good tagline for some parts of the game.
Just shaking a turd.
A turd shaking pieces of turd off of it.
Yeah, imagine infinite turds shaking infinite turds forever. And it just
turds shaking infinite turds on a human face forever.
It's right, and it just eventually, it just literally just turns into the complete works of Shakespeare. It's great. But yeah, so this game, it essentially is you rolling around, you fight things like weird, like proto Plants vs. Zombies plants, essentially like Venus flytraps that spit things.
Yeah, they look like exactly like the pea spitters from Plants vs. Zombies.
Yes, yeah, and then you have bees and you have armadillos.
Yep.
You fight an armadillo in that, and they don't really do much to you, so you kind of feel like a bad caveman for killing them.
Just for like throwing a rock at them and just crushing, just brutally crushing their carapace and not even eating them.
Right.
You don't even eat them. Like,
I mean, he might come back for it later.
Like a caveman.
Like a caveman would.
There's a green elephant that is, as far as we were able to get in the game, the only friendly animal.
I think it might have been some kind of lucid, like, waking nightmare.
That's what it looks like. It's like a weird dream.
This game has a lot of secrets in it, and literally you fell down a pit, and then there was just a green elephant walking menacingly, like, toward you, just, like, slowly inching his way toward you, and we tried to attack it, didn't do anything. And it just turns out he's good. You just you can ride on his back. You can ride on his back. You can, actually, you can do nothing else. You can ride on his back.
Yeah, I mean, like, when we first started this, I didn't really think much of it in terms of, like, oh, this is just, like, a game with a goofy title that isn't great. Like, it's, like you were saying, it's just, like, another bad platformer kind of thing. But, what is really interesting, I think, is actually, like, the longer we played it, the more we came to kind of find out that, like, every single thing could do just about anything. Like, there are these mushrooms you hit that would give you power-ups, or, like, a power down, like they would do something bad. There were pits you could fall in that sometimes led you to a secret area. So, the coolest thing kind of about this game ended up being that there were lots of weird secrets. Like, you found like invisible doors that let you go to different levels.
There was a mushroom that you hit that literally just spazzed out and just caused seizure-inducing flashing on the screen for like minutes upon minutes upon. It wasn't like you did it in like 10 seconds. It's like, nope, it's going for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, that was kind of like I mean, honestly, that thing was kind of disturbing. It plays like this weird, like, like
glitches everything
weird
out.
Glitching noise.
Your guy turns like yellow. He's like inverted his colors. He's yellow, horrifying, like gelatinous.
And it's like just flashing between like normal and like black, normal and black. So it gives it this terrible strobe effect. It's just the kind of thing that you don't see very often in more modern games. I think just because it's like, people, like, there have to be some medical situations that this would kill you. Like, this would just kill you. You die. Or this would be like, oh, it's cool. When you get that mushroom, mommy passes out and foams at the mouth. Because she grab mommy's tongue when you get that mushroom. That's the power up. Yay.
Look at these mushrooms. They're growing out of cow manure.
Get the wooden spoon for mommy to bite on.
That's right. You gotta put it all the way back there.
It's just like, yeah, it's just kind of strange. And it didn't really impede your progress on the level at all.
Right. Also, I guess what we should really talk about, really talk about,
I'm assuming you're talking about the story.
The story. The story, I mean,
which is told almost entirely in like an opening cutscene.
It's a coming of age story.
Yeah, there's an animated opening cutscene that kind of gives you the brunt of the action, which it has the titular Big Nose carrying a satchel of bones. Are they dinosaur bones? Are they human bones?
Is he the bone collector?
Is he the bone collector? Is he that book that had bones in the name that was about that girl who died?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely Bones? That's what I was referring to?
Boner Jams?
And he's taking them to, which I like this is what the building says on it, prehistoric bank.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's called Bank and Bone, or something, Bank and Bones, or Money and Bones, like it's supposed to be loans?
No, I think you're thinking of Bones Are Us.
No, there's that, but then also there's also a subtitle on the bank called it's called Prehistoric Bank and Bones or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
That.
So
it's even dumber than what it sounds like I'm saying it is. It's worse. So
they've decided apparently that during prehistory, right? Like the portion of in which caveman lived, they at the time were even saying, "Hey, this is prehistory. History's not started yet right now. We're living before history.
We've recorded that history has not been recorded in our times yet."
It's very strange. And then they are also setting up the idea that cavemen, at least, used bones as money.
Mm-hmm. what would a mining operation look like? Would it just be a slaughterhouse?
Slaughterhouse, I guess.
Just like factory farm.
Just strange. Like you mug a guy and you just like cut his ribs out. That's like how you
take his wallet and you just cut him in half and rip his ribs out.
Yeah,
that's what taking his wallet means in prehistoric times.
So like that's strange. Then you see a little dinosaur like sneaking his head up over the roof of the next door Bones R Us establishment, which
was my name
if we continue this universe that the creators are setting up for us, which by the way, this was a Codemasters game.
Codemasters and Camerica non-licensed Nintendo joint.
Yes. If we look
Gold Cart edition.
If we look at what they are establishing for us, that would mean that the Bones R Us would effectively be the equivalent of a Dollars R Us store in which you would go to purchase money.
Oh, yeah.
Sold money for money.
It's a really weird thing because you go in there and you're like, I would like a bone, please. And they're like, that would be 1 1/4 bones.
Yeah, so...
everyone wins.
A little strange. But then... oh, excuse me. This is just so riveted. Tiring. But then the dinosaur steals his bones and then the game just starts. So... the dinosaur like snipes him, he like shoots or like throws something at him. Yes. And like grabs a hold of the bag of bones and then just vanishes. Knocks his ass out. So apparently the bones are also of import to the dinosaurs, which means that these are like sentient, smart dinosaurs as well, which is interesting. They probably eat them. For prehistory, this is fairly interesting. I mean, for early recorded prehistory. Now, for recorded prehistory. So while you're kind of like on the skateboard wheeling and dealing around, the thing that the game doesn't ever tell you, at least not in the early portions that we were able to get through, is that, and I believe this is something you had to look to the instruction manual to get, is that Big Nose, the caveman himself, Big Nose, the reason he uses his stone board, which is what that skateboard contraption is referred to as, is because he invented the wheel. Yeah, well... it's his invention. I read it in history. I mean, I learned that in history class, like in first grade, man. It's like, it literally is just like... it explains how he gets all... it explains how he got the bones. Right. He's rich. He made the wheel. We get it. He's a caveman. He's rich. He's gotta be rich. It's the wheel! I wonder if he patented it. Like, you know, was like, they had to wait for that to run out before anyone else could make the wheel. They had to go to him. I mean, it is... I think he just, like, hit the guys in the head who stole it. He probably Get this, though. He didn't even invent it. He just found, like, a round rock. No, he actually invented fire, and he burned the guy to death that's made the wheel. He's Prometheus. He's like, mine now! Yeah, that's right. Big Nose, a.k.a. Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods. Uh-huh. He stole wheel. Burnt up the man who's made the wheel. Yeah, you know, Prometheus that stole fire from the gods, and there's Big Nose who stole the wheel from Craig the caveman. Yes. Down the road. So he apparently has also invented the wheel, and he uses that wheel in order to get around quickly and get everything back from the dinosaurs. So very, I mean, it's honestly not, it's pretty much as preposterous as you'd think for a lot of NES games. Well, although not a lot of NES games do have, like, it would be like that. It'd be like if you found out in the manual that it's like Sonic the Hedgehog, oh, he also invented sneakers. Right, right. Like, what? It's also Mario. He invented modern plumbing. Yes, the inventor of indoor plumbing. Mario. Which is, yeah, that's, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I think another thing, I think another thing about this game that would be of note if we were good at it would be like some of the later levels. Like the game it's an NES game, and it's like one of those games that it's not that long, but it takes, you know, hours and hours and hours to get good enough to get further in the game. And we just suck it. We just suck at games. So, I mean, that's common knowledge. We're just garbage at games. Yes. So there's a later modernity has trained us to suck at games. That's right. I become so complacent. I got into the game and I said, this is stupid. It doesn't even have a video tutorial. I give up. I'm out. Oh, and I just threw it away. Just hung up? Is that what you're going to say? Yep, I just hung up. I mean, I was dialing it in. I was actually playing it. I hung up my video game phone. I called 1-900 Big Nose. And I said, tell me... Okay, go to bignose.xxx. If you want to see what that caveman's up to nowadays.
You can put on a watch list for going to bignose.xxx.
Rightfully so.
Illegal in Germany. No, I called 1-900-BIG NOSE, and I pay $1.50 a minute, and they tell me what's going on when the game, they play it to my ear.
Oh.
And you pay an extra 50 cents, and it's sultry. So I some of the later levels in that
Big Nose strokes his club gently.
Yeah, that's right.
As he careens down a nearby hillside. The hillside's covered in baby oil. He can see his reflection as an armadillo's carapace is shattered. It becomes engorged where the wound is. Till it ruptures and explodes.
You say this like this is a funny bit that you're doing, but I can also guarantee you that there is a fan fiction that you were just probably reading. You probably had it memorized and you were just quoting from. So,
I'm that person who wrote that.
I was actually on a.
I really hope there's not Big Nose fan fiction.
I have to say this. There was on my Facebook memories that popped up recently. From
Moonbook, you mean?
Oh yeah, well yeah, exactly. The artist formerly known as Facebook.
Yeah,
Moonbook.
Eventually, they made Facebook into Earthbook and Moonbook, and then there was we normally don't talk about Marsbook,
Detroit Book.
The threat that still remains out there for us, but and then now Detroit Book. We can assume, we don't know. We cut off all contact with them. Just like as we had, honestly, before the Earth was destroyed.
Back in like 2004. Well, way back in like 2012 or something like that. By I, of course, mean my great grandpa.
You mean Jared the First, not the Fourth?
Yeah, okay. We share in the future. Your grandpa. Like the thing is, you inherit his Facebook. That's what we just do.
Yes, they've uploaded. Not only does that continue, but there was a point in the past in which they actually exhumed all the corpses of Earth, uploaded their memories from like the bones and stuff. Like Assassin's Creed,
like Johnny Depp's greatest.
It was honestly like Assassin's Creed. They just take your DNA and you get all that stuff, and then they like combined your memories. So the thing that's cool is like to us. Oh, I think about Transcendence probably every day.
Who wouldn't?
The Johnny Depp film, not the concept. The concept at this point is tired. And
the movie
really is just come to pass, but you
the singularity is upon us.
So it's worth noting, I guess, to the listeners in the past that you think of yourself as both you, Jared the Third, Jared the Second, and Jared the First.
Yes. So for confusion's sake, I'm just gonna say me.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, so I was on Facebook the other day, and it gave me one of those memories from like 2012 or something like that, and it said. It's something apparently I linked out, and it was something from fanfiction.net, and there was like 450 stories written about, I can't remember the name of the character, I'd have to look.
Okay.
But essentially, it is about Launchpad's wife from DuckTales. Like, there are a whole bunch of stories about Launchpad's wife. The catch, Launchpad never even had a wife in DuckTales. So, there's a whole bunch of stories written about a character that never existed in the show to begin with. And I clicked on the link, and pretty much all of them are tagged not safe for work. Because Launchpad's getting it in.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of his wife. Not only has somebody made up a name for his wife, but it is also now, it is like common knowledge.
Did his wife ever appear in the cartoon?
No, not once.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very strange world we live in. Well, luckily, honestly, most of those people are dead.
Good. That's good. I would hope. But yeah, essentially, that's anyway. So that's how I played the game. I talked to the phone sex, the game phone sex line. So yeah. Anyway, some of the as I was saying, some of the later levels in that look and scene, there is a factory, like a dino factory at one point.
Yeah, it's a very strange like world map where it has like a balloon over mountains, and then there's like two factories and a T-Rex running in front of them, and everything. So I think it could go some very interesting places. We just need to, kind of step up our game for that. But I would say if you get a chance to play Big Nose, a game which it's worth mentioning was released both in an unofficial, unlicensed cart form, but also was released in a short cartridge, a compact cartridge form for something called the Aladdin Deck Enhancer, which it was it was one of 7 games released for it. if you find yourself able to access either of those versions, then I would honestly, I think I would tell people to like play it. Not like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't spend any money on it, but it's kind of interesting for what it is.
Yeah,
just for the secrets. If you're a person who likes messing with the like poking at a game and like getting interesting results, I think it's cool for that. But it's not very cool from a platforming standpoint. It kind of has some momentum-y stuff that feels like it's kind of trying to...
It's covered in baby oil.
Yeah. Feels like it's kind of trying to like ape Sonic a little bit with this like very windy, momentum-y
It even has the same like intro, like the intro when you go into the thing, it's like Wacky Woods or whatever it's called. I mean, I
believe it is Freaky Forest is what it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It literally just looks like Sonic. It's like, it looks like a Green Hill Zone 1 like ripoff, which is weird. But I guess it came out after Sonic, so that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is really about that game. I mean, I think we've done our due diligence to archive it, you know, for all future generations.
Yeah, I mean, everything is that people need to know is here in audio form. Additionally, you can run this audio file through a future synth 2.0 or higher.
Put it in your microwave.
And it will actually create a copy of the game as well. So if you are, I believe, listening to this in 3000 or later, something to look forward to. And today's second Art Archive. It's a little game for the Nintendo Entertainment System called Orb 3D.
Be better if there's a third voice in there.
3 voices from all 3 directions, from all 3 dimensions.
3Ds from all directions. What?
Yes. So our second game today we're going to talk about is really stylistically shares almost no similarities to Big Nose Freaks Out. It's a game called Orb 3D.
They take place on opposite sides of history.
Well, kind of. Orb 3D is a game. It kind of falls into that late 80s, very early 90s thing of like weird blending of sci-fi and fantasy, where it'd be like a spaceship, but you're fighting a wizard.
It's fantasy.
It's fantasy. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what this is, because an evil wizard is threatening Kron, of course.
Mm-hmm. Of chronic fame. Weed was named after him.
Is destroying... He's basically threatening to destroy the entire universe, and you're separated. You have to fight, or not fight, you have to get through 30 chambers to get to him. Mm-hmm. You're a circular spaceship.
An orb, if you will.
Constantly rotating in a circle. Or not rotating... Constantly, it's like you're orbiting a point of nothing. Like you're always traveling in a circular motion.
Your orb-itting.
Yes. Orb 3D. And this is a game that originally, I guess, came with some sort of 3D glasses. Not red-blue glasses. They were like gray, not gray glasses, from what I read.
Grayscale glasses?
We just played it 2D. So this is Orb 3D as played 2D.
Because everyone knows that humans can only see in 2 dimensions, so it makes sense.
So I would say in some ways it could be if you take the fantasy part, you could say, oh, this is kind of close to Big Nose. But then you go, well, that's a spaceship, though.
It's not even kind of close, but yes.
But like wizards are closer to cavemen than spaceships.
I can't argue with you there.
On the timeline, you gotta admit. So the thing with this game is this was very much like, okay, it's kind of like a puzzly game. We didn't know what it was. We just kind of hit it. Okay, so it's essentially Pong
It's like one-player Pong where you control both paddles simultaneously.
It's like Pong where you control both paddles and you can make the ball... You can hit a button to switch the ball going back and forth.
I would say it's more like Alleyway or Breakout.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I think that's true as well. It just looks like... It's just laid out like Pong. And so it just starts... It starts very strange because, like I said, you're the ship, and the ship is constantly getting bigger and smaller to simulate the 3D. It's going away from you, it's coming at you. It's going away from you, it's coming at you. It's going away from you, it's coming at you. It's going away from you, it's coming at you. Right. It's always doing that.
But it's spinning. Motion. It's spinning, but not like spinning like in a circle, like around, like you would think. It's spinning like on the third dimension. Like it's like going into the background, coming into the foreground,
the Earth around
foreground.
The late Earth at this point.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Earth. Praise be to the Earth, goddess of all things.
Praise be to Trump.
Yes.
Once and future and past and present savior.
And it's like the Earth around the sun and not the Earth rotating on its axis.
Praise be to Earth.
And it would always do that. It does that the whole entire game. And then it's like, okay, so you pop bubbles. And I was kind of thinking like, this is just like a puzzle game.
First time we played it, we literally never got past the bubble stage, so we just thought that's the whole game, is you pop bubbles.
Well, and it was like, this is a puzzle game, let's move on. Right? Like, probably not much to it. Then, though, we hit a button.
The B button.
The B button.
Beta button.
And I flew off the screen. And at first we thought it said 10 years.
Yes.
Like 10 years later.
Because it flashes really, really fast at the bottom left of the screen. Then you're not really looking there.
Yeah, but then we learned that it actually says to Verns. In which case, then you fly to a different point and it has like a space station, like this space station with different circular ports, like spherical ports on it.
It's shaped. It's in I don't even. There's not even a word for it, but it's like
a hexagon kind of.
But not really.
Shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 holes around the outside and then 1 hole in the middle.
Yeah. And they're all like to fit your ship. And it says Vern's Orborama. Eat here and get gas is the line. Like, okay.
Like a Waffle House is what I said.
Very funny. We get it. Nintendo made for little babies. But I mean, when it comes to like the Earth art that we're archiving for the moon's sake, I don't really think that like flatulence is worthy. I don't think it is worthy of the high class of art we're looking for.
I mean, it's really common here because everyone knows. I mean, people made fun of it back in the 19th century.
It's literally how we heat the planet now.
About? Well, it's how we heat the planet, and also the moon is just made of cheese.
So it kind of just smells like that no matter where we are.
I mean, that's literally all we eat is cheese.
So it's not very fun.
We live to be about 35.
Yeah, normally that's the point where you start coughing up, or the cheese comes out of your ears and you die.
Right, head cheese.
That's where the term comes from. Yes,
mm-hmm.
That was the term that we actually originally broadcast.
We sent it back in time.
It malfunctioned. We sent that term back in time to about 1355. It's a long story. I don't know how they had a cassette tape player. They did. That's all we know.
Oh well, I mean,
back to Orb.
Yeah.
That aside, what I was trying to say was, we kind of thought that was it. Then we went to Vern's. See, I originally thought, okay, this is just a dumb fart joke. Let's get back to the game. But then, if you can manage to perfectly line up your ship with one of those little holes in the space station, you go in it, and then you actually get gas. You get more fuel for your ship.
Right.
So then I was like, Orb! You've been brought back to the archive.
Also,
you're back in, because now it's not a joke. It was just advertising.
It's literally what he was. It was a space station. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but like the space station, we were talking about like the hexagonal. That's actually what the moon colony is based on.
It looks very similar.
I was wondering why this was called it was called Vern's Orborama like moon colony. I thought it was just some kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe it was just some like, I don't know, some like scientist I didn't know.
Yeah, well, I would say...
but I mean, it's apparently from this game. I mean, it makes sense. It looks just like it.
So it's worth mentioning that this game was published by High Tech Expressions, which they published a number of...
Which sounds like a vaporwave artist, by the way.
It does. But they published a number of like really high quality NES titles like Win, Lose, or Draw, Funhouse...
Oh, everyone loves Funhouse.
Remote control.
Which I'm assuming is based on the Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. Bobby's World. Those kind of games.
Bobby's World!
But they actually closed.
Good, right?
Yeah.
Mandel impression?
Yeah, it sounds great.
I've been working on that for 100 years.
You're doing well. You're going to fit in really well when we send back those voice tapes, voice audition tapes.
I have a whole bunch of gloves that I could put over my head and just inflate at will.
But what I was going to say is they closed down in actually 1997 was when they ceased operation because they weren't
the year of our Lord, 1997.
They weren't able to eventually stay popular. Well, then what they did after that, kind of around the time of when we're sending this to 2016, when like SpaceX, the commercial side of the space industry was kind of ramping up, is those same founders of High Tech Expression started High Tech Spatial Constructions. They actually...
Spatial constructions, like building things in real world.
Yeah, well, this was also during the rise of virtual reality.
Like where you can
construction.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's spatial, that makes sense now.
Yes. So there was Neo-Spatial Constructions, which was virtual reality construction, and then there was just spatial construction.
Based off of... I mean, we said Big Nose is one of the highest art pieces, but... I mean, obviously it's commonplace. Like, also, nowadays that Second Life is the best video game ever made. So, I mean, they started in. Well,
it stood the test of time. We still play it now. We still love it now. So the. By
the way, you owe me $5 Linden bucks? Don't forget.
Yes, I remember that. For that solo concert that you played on my Wolf yacht.
Yeah, and I gave you the naked. Booby skin, like with like boobies on it.
Yeah, where it just lets me shake my face like on motorboating boobies.
Yeah,
there aren't actual boobs though, so it's a little overpriced, but that's fine. Anyway, I'm sorry, we're very easily distracted. That game consumes most of our time here on the moon. Really, it's really my, now that I think about it, right here, this is really my second life.
So anyway, Orb 3D.
Yeah. Sorry, I just blacked out. I think for a second, I've been losing a lot of time lately.
That was 4 hours ago.
But Orb 3D, so you have Burns, you have this gas station, you have fuel. We go back. You managed to beat the first level, which is just you hitting bubbles.
Right.
Then it turned into you hitting bowling pins.
Right. Yeah.
Then you cleared that. Then it turned into you hitting little green dots that then turned into, that we found out were caterpillars, then turned into like chrysalises, then turned into butterflies, then it turned into you hitting coats of arms.
Yeah.
Then it turned into you hitting dice and trying to, like in a darts-like fashion.
You start with a 24 at the bottom and you try to get down to zero.
Down to zero.
Which is really hard because the die, it wasn't just like dice all over the map, it was literally one, it was like the dice at the top would start with 6 and it would go down like,
yeah, every time it moves,
5,
it
4,
would
3,
change.
2, 1, and then it would start over again. I mean, I was doing pretty well up to that point. I did really poorly there, and I just couldn't beat it. It was too hard. That was only like Chamber 6 or 5 or
yeah, Chamber 6 of 30. So clearly this game has just a very hidden depth, a lot of symbolism to it, but really it just kind of goes in a lot of directions that I don't think either of us thought that it would. Which is interesting. I wish I could know more about Kron. I wish we could actually reach the end of the game.
Well, don't forget that also, like the random times that you go try to get gas from Verns, it would also pop up with like a purple head, like
oh yeah,
sometimes
head? You'd have to fight like a demon head,
not to be confused with Clash at Demon Head,
on your way to Verns, and in order to fight him, you would put your orb in one eye. And then you put your orb in the other eye.
Tell me more. Some people have to pay for that.
Yeah. So you would put your orb in both of his eyes, and then he would just close his eyes and just simply disappear, and you would go to Vern. So we don't know if that was Vern, if that was like an old high school chum. We don't know who that character is. It might have been
Kron. No, it wouldn't have been Kron. That would have been too easy.
I don't think it would be Kron, because even on the cover art of the game, he is pictured as like a human white male wizard kind of like patriarchy.
I imagine like
misogynist,
like a weed
type.
Wizard, right? Because I mean, his name's Kron.
Yes,
you obviously know what he's into. I mean, he
Kron
probably
420 weed wizard.
Yeah, Kron Blaze It 420 weed wizard.
Weed wizard,
and he's got that huge bowl and I don't know.
I mean, I don't think you would
how
make
weed works, but he's got weed in a bowl, like a cereal bowl.
Yeah,
puts it in the cereal bowl.
I think he eats it.
Yeah,
you grind it down and then rub it on your.
Those are called edibles.
Like rub it on your body.
I don't know. You got this real danky weed, the stanky,
real stickety.
He puts
lickety dankety.
It looks like shredded mini wheats, but green. And you pour water and milk. You put water and milk together. Put
milk.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Water.
And you put it in there, and then you boil it, or you broil it, and then you boil it.
Broil it, then boil it, then you mash it.
You stick it in a stew.
You stick it in a stew. At that point, it's like a weed stew.
Yeah, weed potatoes. Yeah, but anyway, that dude is blazed.
Yes, and you'd have to be, honestly, to make the different kind of levels that we saw so far.
He only made 30 levels. You think he would make 420 levels. But
yeah, but
he got lazy.
The thing is, I think there's a lot of value. I think the sky is really the limit in what we see within those levels.
Wait, hold on. 420. What's 420 divided by 30? I don't know. It is divisible. I don't know. All calculators destroyed in 2070, so...
Yeah, I don't want to do that math. I don't know.
It's probably 666.
It would be like...
30.
No, wait. I have it. 14. And by 14, I mean 140.
Plus 4. That's a gross. This game is gross.
No, 14. 14 times 30 would be 420. So, 14... February 14th, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Love
from the Van Halen times. Yeah.
Van Halentine's Day. This is obviously telling us to rock on and love each other, and that's a message I can get behind.
Be good to each other, dudes.
Like all art, it reminds us of our humanity, our desire to rock. And our need to love.
And our want to roll. I can get behind that.
I think we all can. Well, Jared, with that, our first audio archive for the moon base is complete.
It's going to be a long journey. We're going to try, essentially, we have every game in existence. We're going to try to get all of them up here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're pretty new to the video game.
We just wanted to start with some of the gimmies, some of the true classics, but we're really going to start to dig into the more obscure works.
I mean, everyone knows Big Nose. I mean, you remember in 2032 when they literally, Big Nose freaks out. They said, Big Nose freaks out for presidency, and he freaked out, and then they just gave it to him.
Yeah.
So I mean, everyone knows Big Nose.
Yeah, Big Nose is a pretty standard political historical figure.
Orb ran China for 8 years.
Honestly, yeah, and I mean, a lot of people, like to throw around that he might be the new Mao, the new old Mao for us.
Mao backwards is orb.
Oh, spelled backwards. Boy.
Orb backwards is also bro.
I smell collusion.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
Well, so I would say, we really hope this transmission's met you in time. Please keep the Earth alive. You don't want to be us right now. Sucks up here. It's cold. It's cheese.
Well, the cheese part's cool.
Get used to it.
Cold cheese is, it'd be nice if we fondue sometime.
The cheese thing is nice to a point, but when you start sweating out actual cheese...
It's delicious.
You've eaten too much.
Yeah, says you.
I'm sick of it, man. Look, you guys, save the Earth. We don't just want a little Detroit planet. We don't just want the moon. We're in the wrong timeline. So we're hoping...
I was born too late.
I mean...
I should have been born in the 1970s.
But for us, it's like, that's kind of true. Okay?
That's true.
Like, I wish I could have been around with the Earth. So
it's not funny and ironic anymore. It's the truth.
It's just the truth now. It's not a joke you can say to be cool. It's the truth.
I'm just an old soul on the moon.
We were discussing this during the break we just had, and if you'd like to send us in any sort of letters, questions, your own transmissions, Jared said that you have to crumple up a aluminum foil.
You take a letter. Really, you want to write it on something metallic, or you put it on a thumb drive. You know, they had those.
Yes, that would work.
What did they have back in the 21st century? Zip disks?
Fanger drives
and zip disks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mini discs?
Yeah, and they also had these things called hit clips. Like that, they started out with like Backstreet Boys on them and stuff like that, but eventually got to the point where people were like
they could put it on a hit clip.
Yeah, that's where like when Shakespeare, they brought him back, he's like, I'm releasing my new play on hit clips. Yeah, everyone bought them.
So really, anything that's metallic or electronic in nature should work.
Yeah. So what you do is you take that and you just get as much aluminum foil as can fit in your microwave. Like you can just make a solid block out of aluminum foil. Literally put fill it, top to bottom, line, you can line your inside and outside of your microwave with it, and then you put the whole thing in there, and then we're in 2099, so you'll actually, like I said before, back then they only had every 60 years, you know how that works, so they only did 60-year increments to match the seconds and the minutes on the microwaves, everyone knows this. So we're in 2099, so that would be 21 minutes, and I forgot we don't have calculators.
39 seconds.
Yeah, we don't have calculators anymore. 21 minutes, 39 seconds. You put that in your microwave.
And in that case, it will either go to 2099 or to 2139, or both.
Right. You put it on the popcorn setting, so it's like really hot. Yeah, exactly. It'll go to both, which is fine, because 2139, things do get better, guys. 2139 is fine. That's a banner year. Yeah. But so anyway, you put it in there and you just turn it on, and no matter what happens, it's going to look like it's bad. Like it's going to see sparks, and it's going to see your house might catch on fire. It's going to be like kind of a blue lightning that might be some casualties, but that's the only way to get it to us, and it's totally worth it. And
and all the timelines are going to change once you guys hear this. So don't worry about dead family, dead loved ones. Yeah. It's all going to get fixed.
Pets. You can send a pet to us if you want. We don't have any pets in the future. So, I'll take your dog or cat. Also, for postage and shipping and handling, put 3.99 Linden bucks in there too. Because we need those. Mm-hmm. Just because, we have to pay to get those into the future. And they only take Linden bucks, obviously. So just do that. No matter what happens, send it. If it destroys the neighborhood, honestly, good, because those people will die for a cause. We really, really would like your letters. And they're going to be
alive in the next timeline, the better one.
Right. So, so send us everything in your microwave. That's how we communicate in the future, all microwaves. Brain tumors are in vogue, so.
And if you need any other information, or if you don't own a microwave, for one thing, I feel sorry for you. At lunchtime.
How do you eat food? All food is prepared on microwaves or in them.
But if you don't, you can also visit us at our hypertext protocol. It's www.worldwideweb.joysticktuggers.company. We're not really a company, but we're not an organization or an edu. Which I believe is a kind of like large flightless bird.
Or that's it. Or biz.
Yeah,
or Democrat or Republican.
We're not a biz, we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans. Those things died with Earth. I'm a Moonocrat. You're a Des Moonez. Mm-hmm. Those are our new political parties.
Well, Des Moonez used to be a town in Iowa. Mm-hmm. Des Moonez.
Yeah, it was named after the president of CBS. So contact us there. You may also be able to find some sort of electronic mail. I don't know how that will work with the past future interface, but let us worry about that. So get a hold of us there, joysticktuggers.com, and please.
Do we have a Twitter set up anymore, or like Facebook? We have a Facebook page.
We'll have to look.
We have to hold a seance to contact our dead grandfathers and see if they still have this up.
Yeah, this kind of like cross time stuff is a little complex, but please save the Earth. Remember the moon. Art.
Boom.
We hope this transmission meets you, person of the past, in times of peace and plenty. As always, remember, pickles make the best gifts. Goodbye.